You are now tuned in to Let It Be the Podcast with Fergie, a podcast where we discuss a variety of topics from lifestyle, faith, and the struggles of the everyday believer. This is a podcast about simply releasing control and just letting things be. I'm so glad you tuned in for the conversation, and don't worry, it's safe here. Well, this is a little awkward. Coming back after a long hiatus. I know the last episode I said, I think I'm going to take me a spring break because I just had a lot of things going on and I was dealing with transition and trying to navigate all of that. I needed a break and I did not intend for it to be 2 months, but here we are. But I'm back and I'm just so grateful it's just, I don't know, it feels good to be recording again. I know I had been hitting for a while that I was going to, new episodes were coming, but to be honest, it was taking a lot for me to actually get up and do something. And so our guest today, yes, I have a guest and I'm super, super, super excited about. But my guess is really was dang, I have to move now. I have to act now. So, and even the word that I got at church today, which is crazy how God just uses everything he uses it, literally everything. But anyways, this episode is very near and dear. It's a conversation that I think something that I have been struggling with for a while. And I'm sure a lot of people are struggling with and don't even realize it. But before we get into that episode, I have a very, 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 very special guest. Somebody that I speak about on our podcast all the time. Somebody that's very near and dear to my heart. My favorite person. Probably somebody I love so, so, so much. I'm so excited to introduce to y'all my bestie, my BFF, Gaelynn. I know I talk about her all the time. But she is here with me in the flesh. I'm literally looking at her. And we're about to record our first podcast. And I'm just happy to share this conversation with y'all. So without further ado, Gaelynn. Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm so excited that you are finally here, and it's crazy. I've been saying for so long. Before I started recording, I knew exactly what kind of conversation I wanted to have.
Little bit.
Yeah, and I knew exactly what I wanted to talk about. But in hints of our conversation today, which is control. That's what we're talking about. That's what this conversation is going to be about today. It's simply the theme of my podcast. Let it be. Let go of control. And it's funny how God will make you eat your own words, because control, the reason why I've been gone for 2 months is because of control, because I felt like I didn't really have control of my life, about how everything was moving, and I didn't like the way it was feeling. So I was lacking control for a lot of things. And because of that, I could control whether I was going to record episodes or not. And I didn't. But thank you so much for lighting a fire in me today, in line with the conversation. What we heard at church today as well. It was just dang, I can't run from this no more. I keep saying I'm going to do it, but I ain't really doing it. But yeah, so, and if y'all hear any background noises, like I said, it's okay. Just act like you know, because we having a conversation.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
You want to know what was so crazy about, right now, this moment?
What?
We talked about this a few months ago, when you first started the podcast, and you was like, I want to have you on an episode, but what I want to talk about with you is got to be the right timing. Mm-hmm. And so, low-key, wow. I was like, what's she going to ask me? Because I think we got a lot to talk about. Mm-hmm. But, on the back end, for me, I feel like so much has been going on, and I know we'll get into our friendship and the beauty of it and the mm-hmm. essence of it, but it's it's been so much I've been having going on, and I know you've been having a lot going on. It's just I am so excited to go to Dallas just to talk mm-hmm. to Bree, to have somebody to talk to, and it's some stuff that has been ruminating in my mind, and it's okay, I'll have time to mm-hmm. talk to somebody about it, and it just so happened to be
this. Right. And you want to know what's funny? I wasn't planning on doing no episode.
I know. We never talked about it.
I wasn't even going to say nothing about it. Honestly, I kind of slacked off. I've been trying to kind of post at least once a week so people know that podcast is still alive. Yeah. But I forgot. I wasn't thinking about no freaking no episode. So it is like I said, control. That's what we're talking about today. And before we get deep into the conversation, I have to let y'all know who my bestie is, okay? So I want you to actually introduce yourself before we get into our relationship and all that. Introduce yourself, ma'am. Who are you? Where you from? What you be doing in your free time? What you like to do? Tell us.
So I'm Gaelynn, from Kansas City, like Bree. I recently relocated to San Antonio, so I'm here, 4 hours away from my best friend. It's crazy to me. I don't even know, but I've been toying with the idea to make a business card that said I'm a professional converser.
Okay.
Because I feel like I can do it. Mm-hmm. I can pretty much have a conversation with anybody. So for get to know me, really get to know me, because I've never told anybody that. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm a professional converser. Mm-hmm. But in my free time, I love to work out. I love to read. I love talking on the phone to breathe. Even if it's like quiet.
We be on FaceTime working or not.
Yes. I'm a huge family lover. I believe that family does a lot for us. We'll talk about it positively and negatively, but I love my family. Although I'm not able to be with my family, I still do what I can. I love nature. In my professional career, I am a talent manager. So I talk to people and I seek very executive talent, which has completely changed my perspective on professionalism as a whole. We'll talk about all of that. So yeah, I'm somebody's baby. I'm somebody's auntie. I'm somebody's best friend. I'm all of that.
We love to see it. Yes. So let's talk about our relationship. Okay. How did we meet? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly. I know. Okay, we real right here?
Let's be honest. Okay. Like, we're honest.
I don't remember physically when I met you. I remember that feeling I had when I met you.
Oh, my God.
For real? No, I'm for real. When we were like, what, in kindergarten? So you, what, like 5?
I was
6?
6. Yeah, 6.
6. I don't remember physically meeting you, but we just texted about this a few weeks ago when you wrote your number down for me. You wrote your number down. We was like 6. I literally cleaned up the basement. And I still had it. And it was in like you know how you used to have those photo albums? I put it in a photo album.
That's crazy.
And so I don't remember. I just remember we've been friends. Since kindergarten. So when we went to LAD.
Yep. Back in Kansas City. That's crazy. Like I kind of have shared, like I've had like a little of rough upbringing in my life, a lot of transitions in my life before, but Gaelynn and I went to elementary school together. I met her in kindergarten. You were in a different were we in the same class? I don't remember.
No,
we were in different classes. That's crazy. And like I always think about that old picture that we got when we was at a birthday party. Yeah. And I know I got that picture with like it's me and your brother.
Yeah.
But I always think about that because I don't have a lot of stuff like that from my childhood, which is crazy. Like
that's always when I get them. Like when I come across them in my parents' house, I try to send them to you. I'm like, because this is like people don't have relationships that last that long, and I think that our reconnection point was like really defining. So we separated for a minute.
In elementary school. We did. And I remember requesting to be your friend on Facebook. It's so funny.
I was geeked. I was so geeked. I was like, Bree!
I felt the same way too. Yes. Because I always thought you were super cool, like from afar. Even
you just made me feel good.
You too.
You make me feel good.
In real life. But it's been like that. Like even like back when because like me and your brother went to high school together, because like after we disconnected, like Facebook obviously is like, oh, Gaelynn, like I know who she is, but I always thought she was just so cool, and I'm like, I remember her from my childhood, but like it was just that. So let's talk about like how we reconnected through Facebook. Then we would see each other at your brother football games, and you would come to the school sometimes.
It was always love, although like we had disconnected and we didn't like really know a lot about the older versions of ourselves. It was always all love. It was always like, hey, Bree. Like I would see her at games and we would like message on Facebook. Like
it was good to see you.
Yeah, it was so good to see you. But it was like always love. And so we took a break after high school after that. And we talked about this today, how we were supposed to go to different colleges and we both ended up at the same college.
School. Crazy.
And like for me, I'm like walking in the dorms, about to get on the elevator, but the elevator was coming down and Bree walks out. And I'm like shook. In college.
Move-in day.
Yes. I'm shook. I said, Bree!
I remember that feeling. I feel like that was like you waiting on your daddy to pick you up and then like they finally come. Like that feeling was like, oh my God, because it's crazy going to that school. Like my situation with college, that was not the school that I intended to go to. And I was like, I don't know, nobody up in this hicko town, like, you know, and I was just like, I felt alone, really.
No,
and then literally you running off that elevator, and I remember running into Mama P and Papa P, and I was just like, oh my God, like, and we've been inseparable ever since, and that was in 2011.
That's crazy.
Life is so crazy. Like, life is so crazy. What if I would have went to the school I wanted to? We would have been in different states, not even.
And that's like,
what would my life be without you right now?
I don't even know.
Uh-oh, sorry.
It's crazy because I remember how you had the feeling like your daddy picking you up. I was like, I'm gonna be okay. That's how I feel like, I'm gonna be okay. Just to like have somebody, you know, when you go to college, you always hear about these phases that you and your friends gonna go through. I knew I was gonna go through that with like the friends I had from high school. I was accepting to that, like, okay, it's gonna hurt, but I know we gonna change. And it's like I felt like it was divine for me to run into somebody who I had known literally all of my childhood. Our parents were friends, you know, like to run into you.
That's crazy. I didn't even really connect. Like, our parents knew each other.
Yes.
It was always like a little joke, but like they really knew each other. Yes. Like, they worked together.
We're like friends. We're like friends, like still ask about each other. Yep. Like, we're like friends. So that's how we got connected. And we have literally been inseparable, like, since. Throughout life, the ups and downs. We were what, 18, 19?
19. I was
18, 19. You know, like, to go throughout life with a friend like that, it's like we different.
And it has been, even, we've been friends for a long time, but, like, I'll say this, like, I never knew what a real relationship looked like. Like, I did, like, communication and things, because, like, it ain't been no easy journey. We've been reconnected for, what is this, 2022? 11 years we've been reconnected? I never did the math. But it ain't been ezy. We've had a lot of ebbs, a lot of flows, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just grateful that, like, I don't know what my life genuinely would look like. I believe, like, you should have people in your life that make you better. And you literally make me a better person. You make me think about things. You motivate me to, like, get up. Like, even now, like, this was the furthest thing from my mind. You could have not told me that I was going to end my weekend off recording an episode. Like, I kind of was like...
We weren't even on that. We was like, we just going to chill.
Never.
We're just going to chill. We're going to go with whatever happens. And we like started sitting down having a conversation. We was like, we have to.
It was too good.
It was, And I mean, we talked about this, but like, it's somebody else
that needs to hear
this. Because some of the stuff we talked about during our conversation, I was like, dang, I didn't know you felt like that. I didn't know you know, and vice versa. So, I mean, it's like only right. But a lot of just very like intentional divine things have been
today. I know.
And I'm like, yes, okay.
That's just
like the cherry on top.
Okay, so, and speaking about control, I want to know, like, what does that mean to you? What does control mean?
You want, like, the definition from
Webster?
mine?
No. Yeah, like, to me, what does control mean to you, not Webster?
So, from both ways, it's like guidance. It is understanding. It can be limiting sometimes, but sometimes it can also be freeing. And that's what I'm learning now as just like a soul searching, healing woman. Like really involved in becoming a better person. Like control has been the root of a lot of my decisions. A lot of my decisions. And if you were to tell me at 18 years old, you and I would have this conversation.
Couldn't fathom it.
What?
Yeah,
no, that is not what we're talking about. Let me tell you. Absolutely not. But for us to be here and have this conversation, I'm proud. I'm very, very, very proud to like be here with you and it to be you. I'm really proud of that. So control is a lot. And it's been a lot. It's been a lot of who I've been, who I'm becoming, like who I see myself being, or who I want. I don't have control because I was about to say who I want God, but I don't have control over that.
Who you want God with? Finish that.
Who I want God to make me.
Okay.
Or yeah, but that's not in my control. Yes, I have like these desires in my heart, but sometimes you gotta go with His plan and not yours. Okay. That's what control's been doing. And I think for me, it's literally molded how I've been as a person. From a child, middle school, high school, being like as buttoned up as I've been my entire life. And I say this all the time and now. I feel like for a long time, up until like the last maybe 3 years ago, I was who the world wanted me to be. And through self-love and relinquishing control, I've learned that I don't got to be none of that. I don't have to be none of that. My daddy always used to say, like, it's not what they call you, it's what you answer. It's what you answer to. And we think about that, and it's like, if they call you a bad word, you don't have to react to that. But in my adult life, it means so much more. Because I don't care who y'all thought that I should be. This who I am.
Let me ask, because we're older now, and we start to see things a whole lot different. And I think that that's kind of like what I have been struggling with, like me taking a step back from the podcast, because I felt like I don't have control of my life in any way, and like my life is not bad, and it could definitely be a whole lot worse. But like I said, like taking a leap of faith. When you take that leap of faith, that means
you're relinquishing control.
You're relinquishing control, right?
Of a mountain. You can't be like, well, I hope these imaginary strings, you're gone.
Yeah, it's not in your control. So taking a leap of faith is literally trusting the hand that carries you.
Yeah.
The person who's inside of you, who no matter what you might go through on this leap of faith, you know you're going to be good.
Yeah.
Because you know who you are and you know whose you are. You might not know who you are completely, but you at least know whose you are.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't know whose you are, you wouldn't be taking that leap of faith, right?
Absolutely not.
And so I think that, like, thinking about that in an aspect of control, for me, it had been like me starting my new job, and it's just like, dang, I went from being an expert at what I did. Everybody loved me. Like, I'm an expert, and now y'all speaking to me in coded language, and like I don't know. And then to the point now I don't even care what you're talking about. Like I'm so mad that I can't control how fast I'm picking up on this. I can't control it. And I'm just like, God, like, maybe I shouldn't have took this leap of faith. Maybe I should have stayed where it was comfortable and cozy for me. I had control then. And for me, and it's so crazy that I can sit here and say that, because the reason why I was starting to like, it's time to move, because I had too much control. I manipulated how my day was going to go. I knew my customers. I knew everything that needed to be done. I knew, I thought like, oh, okay, I'm coding and I'm doing certain things. Then I never had a desire to work in tech. I never had a desire to work and on the side of marketing that I'm working on now. Never. And I still don't know what I'm supposed to learn in this season. You know, because a part of me is like, dang, like when when you take a leap of faith and you let go of your control, and it's just like, okay, God. And it's so crazy because at the beginning of this year, I talked about like me literally, God, have your way. Because a lot of the things that I have been going through, especially since my move to Texas, I've been trying to be intentional about what I'm going to get out the year. I'm going to manifest my year. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do all of these things. But it's like, okay, God, like, have your way. Whatever you say. And with that, when that came, when I felt that burden, like, okay, you going to take a leap of faith? Leave your job. Let's see. Let's walk it out, right? Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, God, have your way. If you want me to leave, show me a door. Because when God told me to leave my job, at the end of last year, I honestly felt like that a while ago. He was like, you leaning too much on your understanding and not mine. So I felt that pull for a long time, but it wasn't until something happened where the boat was real rocky, and I was like, hold up, whoa, like, okay, what did he say, dude? Oh, he said, I gotta take a leap of faith. Oh, you can trust him. And then when the situation came up and I couldn't ignore, like, oh, this is God. And sometimes we think like, oh, this is God because it looks good. It's really shiny. This got to be God. Like, it's a good thing. But what if when you get that good thing and it's not all pretty and shiny like you think?
No, I agree. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
go ahead.
I literally be like that.
Yeah, always.
It'd be like that stuff where you're like, oh man, shaking in your boots. I don't know if I should do this. That's control. And it's also like combined with control. I'm gonna tie fear in there because people do bad things out of fear. People do good things out of fear. People do a lot out of fear, but fear also controls us. Yep. And so, to your point, leaving your job, that's serious, especially when you are an established professional. You know what you got to do. I want a soft life.
Listen. And then, like, at this big age, why you jump into something way different? Why you jump into something way different that I don't got no control over this?
I don't. And he's like, when you ask him to use you, it's not going to always be what you want to do.
Never. It's never going to be the way. It might have a little sprinkle because you know the desires of your heart. Like, yeah, I'm going to throw this in
elevate
here.
You, but you going to go through some stuff before. But we are so, and I'm going to just say we as a people are so controlled by everything we do. You have to speak this way. You have to think this way. You have to act this way. That's worldly. Who got to do that? I'm not going to run a stop sign and run a red light. I will follow those rules. But the rules were like, you tell me who I have to be because I'm a brown girl. You know, like, no.
You said something that I want to go back to when it came to like being young and wanting to operate and being so buttoned up. You said something like that, buttoned up, because I resonate with that a lot. And I think that because I have attempted to be so buttoned up this long, and now it's unraveling. You know, them buttons popping off. So it's time to get another size shirt. You know, like that's kind of how it feels. Like, I can't control the image. I can't control everything. And then especially like when you sitting here trying to be obedient, and now I'm sharing my inside thoughts with the world now. So it's like, hold up, wait a second. But like, are you gonna be real or are you gonna be not?
Yeah.
Which is why I told myself, like, even on this episode, like I have to be intentional with who I allow to be on this space, but also the conversation and everything that's happening. So like, I'm like, God, I say God use me. You can't control how He gonna use you. Like even if you get on this microphone and you running your mouth and you telling your business stuff that you don't even want to talk to yourself about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you be intentional,
right? So how has control impacted who you are from being so young and being buttoned up? Like, how was you operating in that space of being like? Let's talk before the healing and the realization of that. What did that do for you? Like,
it made me feel like I have to be perfect. Like I have to. And I've always felt like that. Even as like a little girl, I felt like I've always had to be perfect. I have to do the right things. I have to say the right things. I felt like that. Because of the family that I come from and the family that I don't come from. It's traumatizing.
Yep.
To some sort, and that's the importance of unlearning. But it started for me when I was like a little girl, like literally a little girl. I'm the second girl at that, so I have another woman aside from my mom that I am looking up to. And when you have a big sister, like off top, people don't talk about this conversation enough, but like when you have an older sister, especially like an older sister that's doing great things, I love my sister. You feel the need to want to reflect that. I want to be great like her. I want to be, smart like her. I want to move like her. That molded a lot of who I am. Now, I talk about this, and it's not in a negative perspective because a lot of the realness in me, a lot of that come from my sister. And I thank her, so much for that. But that took control of my life because I felt like I had to do all of these things. And they weren't, sometimes they were things that I wanted to do. I'm very, like, outside of the box when it comes to my siblings. All of them play sports. And I'm like, Mama, can you give me some coloring pencils? Like, I want coloring pencils and markers and glitter and stuff. Like, I was creating. And to feel like that as a kid, you automatically feel like the outsider. You feel like the outsider. So I knew that growing up in my life, one thing that I could always control is my excellence.
Ooh, that's good.
I knew that I could control that. I get in elementary school. I'm buttoned up. I'm making honor roll. I'm top student in the school. I get to middle. This is where I see my life. This is it. And my parents love it. And not because this is how they want me to be, but I can't be mad that my parents want more for me. I ain't mad at y'all for that. Like that's where my grit comes from. My grind. But growing up like that and you start seeing life in a different perspective, you really get to know who you are as a person. I don't think that I could have played sports like my siblings. Thank you, God, for making me the outsider. I'm a bad sport. Let me do that over. You miss it. I'm going to do it over. I understand that now as an adult. That's not my thing. That's not my lane.
And just you learn to just embrace that uniqueness. When do you feel like you learned that? Like when you finally understood, like I don't have to measure up to my big sister. I don't have to compete like my brother. Like, like when do you feel like you started to, or do you feel like you have? And that could be personal. You ain't got to share too much in depth, but like, do you?
I still feel it sometimes. I get what you're saying. I still feel it sometimes. Like I have to measure up. But I think the like real moment for me always happened. I wasn't there enough to grasp it. I just wasn't there enough to grasp it because one thing that my parents definitely instilled in me is that if that is what makes you happy, do it. So it's not like I didn't receive the affirmations to be great or to be different. You know, it's not that I didn't receive those, but actions speak way louder than words. So y'all telling me this, but sometimes what I do is not enough.
Yep.
Because somebody else did
better. Like from your perspective.
From my perspective.
Not because somebody else put that on you.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Just like real quick, I recently had a conversation with my brother, and this is how intentional for real God can be. As I started going through our therapy, most times they talk to you about your childhood. You know, that's how I started. Y'all talk about the childhood. So she told me about like how my childhood was, and this was a minute ago, but I was getting comfortable with the fact that yes, I'm in therapy, I'm healing, I'm working on myself. This is for me. And so having those conversations in a black family, you kind of teeter-totter, you be like, whoo, I don't really know. But I was like, walking in my purpose. This is what I'm doing. This is going to make me better, no matter what it look like for anybody. So I was having a conversation with my brother, and I'm like, well, I always felt like mom and daddy did this to you, and they did this to you. And he's like, what? I felt like it was the opposite way around. That's when I knew. I'm like, one, something's not right here with perspective. And I don't think that having different perspectives is a wrong thing, but this is my brother. We should be able to converse about things like this. So I knew at that moment, it's like, girl, do you? So what if your sister was this and your sister was that and your sister was this? Like, do you? And you have to be okay with that. So I had to learn slowly but surely how to relinquish that control. Even having those small conversations, like, you want to have it, so here we go. However it goes, God.
So you think that it took you up until like your now years, like your more recent years to learn that? Yeah. So because that could be exhausting, right? Like trying to like measure yourself against something that like God ain't even like, like what's for you is for you. Who I've designed you to be. And I hear a lot of people talk about like that middle child syndrome kind of thing, where you feel, I believe that, like when you feel invisible, because of the first set of kids, like your parents didn't really know what they was doing, and they figured it all out. But then with you, it's like, oh, I've been here before, I got this. And then the little one come around and they the shining star, and it's just like, what about me? Like, like I trust me, I'm not necessarily, I don't know, my family dynamic is a little weird, but like not really the middle child, but like I still experience that middle child thing.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. So what about in like relationships? How would you say control, like what has control done to relationships that you have, from friendships, from romantic relationships, whatever you want to share? Like what do you think that what has control like done to relationships for you?
It has ended some of them. It has ended some of them. Some of them that I look back on now and I'm like, you was being controlling. If you would have just relinquished some control. And these are friendships, these are romantic relationships, these are professional relationships. We all kind of get a little touch of ego in us, from time to time. So control has definitely eliminated some relationships out of my life. It has brightened a lot of them. Just because I really do believe that, like, because of a lot that's what's going on in the world, people are starting to see that we do not have control. We want goodness. People want goodness, and we don't get that. But that's not our job to be like, this is how it should be. You feel what I'm saying?
So yeah, you feel like that, like relinquishing control has helped a lot of relationships, but it's also hindered a lot, business, professionally, romantically. Yeah. Trust me, like I feel the same way. I think, like when I think back on the control, because I think my perception of control is like wanting to be perfect. I don't think from, like I kind of come from, I guess like my childhood thing is like, well, maybe if I'm perfect, then you'll see me. Maybe if I'm perfect, because it's like, not that you, like for me, it wasn't that I was being compared in an instance like yours, like from where you experienced it. Like I wasn't being compared to an older sibling. I just felt like I was just invisible. And I kind of shared that on some previous episodes before, but it's just like some of the trauma that I've been through in my life was just like coming into like my parents separated, and like my dad kind of like got remarried and had his family situation, and like I had some issues just like my upbringing with my mom and certain things like that. And so it's just like, okay, well, where do I fit? Because I always felt like I don't really have a space in this world. Nobody sees me. What if I'm perfect? Oh, if I do good, then you'll notice.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I was starting to, it was just like, I let that fuel me to where I always did just enough. Because then I started to feel like, well, I'm not good enough. Because like my control, like me trying to not share certain things that happening to me or certain things that I feel or whatever, nobody cares anyway. That's how I thought as a kid. But I'm like, if I appear to be perfect, and then now, as even saying that, the conversation that we've had this weekend, trying to, like, the reason why I was communicating certain things, and we can even get into this as far as relationships, because our relationship has definitely gone through some altered
because of control.
But we've gone through some bumpy roads to get there. It wasn't always like, because like communication, I think that's where we struggle, because of like you're way more expressive on how you feel about certain things, and I didn't know what to do with that, and I felt like I disappeared and then talked to you for a week, and I'm here now. Like, leave me alone. Like, girl, you tripping. It's just like, hold up.
I was not like that.
Yeah,
I was like you used to, one thing that I used to always say to you, and you would be like, so I would always say to Brie, like, as a friend, I just want to be here for you. Like, and she'd be like, you don't have to tell me what you gonna do as a friend, Gaelynn. I know. And I think that was the moment for me where I was just like, okay, something's not clicking here. But it's not because like we don't love each other and we don't cherish this relationship. It's some like understanding that it's not here. I think that for me, and this is kind of deep, but I guess I can share it on the podcast. I think when you used to say, like, as a friend, it made me feel like an ultimatum. Like, if you don't communicate with me, I'm not gonna be your friend. Yeah, so if you don't do what I want, the way I want you to do, I'm gonna take this away. So as a friend, if I'm gonna be here for you, that's how I think that I would hear it. But I think that comes from me and my trauma. Yeah. And like when we talked about like just learning how to compromise, because I never knew what healthy relationships look like. My growing up upbringing, it was like all the time. And so like for me, it was just like, if you're going through something. And like this, the way it was displayed, they would be in my house not talking for months. I've seen it. It's crazy. I don't want to put everybody's business out here, but like just not communicating or writing a sticky note, like, on something on a sticky note, like literally not talking. And so for me, it was just like, that's how I learned how to communicate. If I'm not feeling my best self, like I don't know how to be bubbly. I don't even know how to talk about my feelings, and so I'm gonna keep it to myself. And to be honest, I still struggle with that. And I think that when it comes to compromise, like, one thing that I remember you said to me, like, even if it's like hey, I know you called me, but instead of you just ignoring me and hitting me back when you feel like it, you can just say, hey, I'm not really having a good day. Yeah, because that's how we communicate in my house. Like, I've always seen, and it has been such a blessing, just like exemplary, reflections of a relationship. Like, my daddy got friends that he been friends with since kindergarten, and I know if my daddy called them, they gonna be there. They, well, we ain't talking this month. Okay, so I've always seen that form of relationship, and it's crazy that you say that, because I think that allowing myself to release control from our relationship is what has made it blossom into so much that it is. So for you thought that I was saying it like, if you, as your friend, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, I'm going to take it away. And I didn't mean it like that at all. It's just like, as your friend, because friendship is like everything. If you going to be a friend, you be a good friend. That's how I was brought up. And to have a friend, you have to be a friend.
Be a friend, right.
You have to be a friend. Like, when stuff gets uncomfortable in our relationship, and we've had some times like that. Like, here recently, I think it was like during the pandemic, we had a time where it was like, we were talking about, are we still here? And like, I asked her, and it's crazy because it hurt me to ask you this, because I have never asked anybody this before. So it was a very vulnerable moment. And I asked you, like, what can I do to be a better friend to you?
I remember that.
And I was like, that's when I knew, like, it really started clicking. That's when I knew. I'm like, this my dog. We going through stuff, but like, friendship at an essence, that's us.
And you want to know what's crazy? Nobody has ever asked something like that of me.
You really my friend.
And that's why I thank God. I thank God for you so much. Nobody has ever asked, how can I be better? What can I do? Like, I never even, to be honest, thought I was even worthy. It was just like, oh, if it's bad right now, we ain't talking. And if it don't get better, then we just time is going to go on. Like, that's not how it works. And so, like, that's when not that I ever question, like, oh, you're not going to be in my life. Like, I never felt that way. But that's when I knew, like, oh, this is, like, this for forever. Like, you know, we say stuff like that all the time. But, like, that's when it really showed me because, like, and I'm not saying it has to be the thing for everybody's relationship, but I needed to hear that because during this, I think a lot of people, and that's something that I was going to also mention, like, I do believe that God does everything intentionally. And with this pandemic, it really showed us we don't have control. It stopped the whole world. Everything that we thought, everywhere, the entire world. And I think I know, like, that was just God showing us, like, I don't care what all these policies and laws and
politics of it all.
Yeah, you ain't got control. I don't care what y'all say. Yeah. I'll shake all this up right now. You know what I'm saying?
Upside down.
I'll knock all this stuff over. He did that. You know, he already flipped some tables. You know, he did that to us too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's crazy. But so we said a lot, just as far as
I think the essence of it was just like releasing control.
Control as far as for relationships and how that affected our friendship. That's what I'm saying.
Because I used to be like mad.
And me?
Like when we would butt heads as far as communication, especially for example that, you know, as a friend, if you need to talk about it, I'm here for you. I promise. And she would like go crazy. I used to be like,
flip, like,
I don't know if I can do this anymore.
I remember this one time. It was around the time when I was really in the thick of like going through it. And you and our other friend Kayla was like, what's wrong with you?
What is it?
What's wrong with this girl? Like, something is wrong with her. Why are you going off on me? Because I said as a friend, da-da-da-da. But I don't even know if I've ever even communicated that as clear as I just did now. Like, that's how I used to feel. Like, you was going to take it from me if you had to throw our...
I would never, like...
Trauma.
It is.
Projecting our trauma on other people.
And it's not fair. It's not fair. So, breaking generational curses and all... Because they do be curses.
Yep.
Depending on what you want your stuff to look like. That's important. Mm-hmm. It is important. Like, and I think about this all the time, and we constantly have, you know, conversations about what we would love, what we want in our families. Mm-hmm. And it's some stuff that I've seen. So, like, integrity. Mm-hmm. My family taught me to be a woman full of integrity. Mm-hmm. I definitely want my kids to have that. But sometimes the type of communication that we have, like, and we do this in my family a lot, it's like, nobody's going to say nothing. Like, this man's self-destructing. Mm-hmm. This your family.
What happens in this house stays in this house. You can't say nothing. Yep.
This your family. I would never do that. And that's how I saw our relationship. Like, you family to me. Mm-hmm. So, like, the same stuff that I'm going to tell my brother if I see him doing some crazy stuff, I'm going to tell him, I'm sorry your feelings going to be hurt. I will not deliver it to you in a way that's gonna break you down. Mm-hmm. But as a friend, what's going on?
I do? And I think this about all relationships. Like, you need people in your life that's gonna hold you accountable. That's gonna come to you. It don't have to always be a harsh thing. Like, I'm here to reprimand you, but like maybe you feel in a certain way. But as a friend, what can I do to encourage you? What can I do to, like, what do you need? Yeah. Like, how can I help you get out of the situation that you're in? Because I see you running in a cycle and it's not healthy for you. And I don't want to see that, you know? And I think, like, we had to learn, you know, like, I think, like, as all friends ain't going to be on the level of us. Like, you know, you can come to me and say absolutely anything. If you see me just, like, you motivate me. I just think about times, like, or I think, like, in the beginning, like, when I went on my weight loss journey and I lost hella weight at first, and then that inspired you, and then, like, you lost heck of weight. Like, not that you was just super big, but, like, I just think, no, like, you wasn't big. I'm not saying it like that, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying the way you went ham. Because I kind of was like, I lost my weight. And then
I can do it again if I got to.
Like, I know it's in me, but I think for me, kind of, like, I went and got comfortable. I ain't gained all my weight back, but I was just like, oh, it's enough. Yeah. You know, like, but then to see you take this to the next level, you inspire my life every day. And I'm glad we got these Apple Watches, because every time I would see, like, dang, I still do this. I ain't gonna lie. If I see that you hit all your goals, I'm like, oh no, I'm about to do some jumping jacks. Let me do some yoga. I gotta close my exercise ring. Like, that keep me motivated. So I feel like you do need people in your life that will push you to be better and to hold you accountable and let go of control. Like, you don't want people that's just like okay with your self-destruction.
Right.
And they don't say nothing. You don't want people in your life like that.
You know what I think the key to breaking generational curses is?
What's that?
Accountability. It is accountability. It is absolutely positively accountability. It is, because we take we be taking life real serious, and it don't have to be that serious. It don't have to be that serious. I feel like there are bases of life that are simple and we make them hard. I think love is one of them.
Yep.
But with love, in my opinion, comes accountability. So off top, if you my friend, if you my family, you somebody close to me, I feel like I always want to level my people up. And I always expect that in return. Sometimes people confuse that with jealousy.
Yep.
That's not what that is. That's not what that is. Or wanting to be like her. It's not that at all. When you lost your way, I'm like, shoot, Bree can do it. I already know my girl got the resources. You know, I got somebody close to me. I have support. We switched that around. When I did it, it's like, okay, come on, girl. We motivating each other, but it was never like, I never feel like I have to be like Bree. I never feel like that. Yeah. I'm like, Bree is who she is. And if she was like me, girl, no, I love that she is the way she is. She lives in herself. I love that about you. And I'm like, I don't see no competition there, but we motivate each other.
Call each other out. So
and we hold each other accountable. Like, even on stuff where it's like, this is a hard conversation, like the conversations we've been having this weekend, we've had some hard conversations about our friendship. And all of those, it's been talking about accountability. What can I do better? What have I learned throughout this journey? Because this is like, we haven't been together like this in a minute.
It's been a long time, I know. And I think that, like, in a sense of like relinquishing control and just allowing yourself to just evolve however you need to be. And something else that I was thinking about when you was talking as far as breaking generational curses is not really holding like previous generations, because like they only went so far. They only did as much as they know. Yeah. And I feel like we the generation now, because a lot of us do talk about, some people talk about mental health, but then some people really are about it. And you said something earlier when we were sitting on that couch as far as like attention, like being intentional about doing things. Like, what does that take? You get up when you tired, when like it's being disciplined. To be intentional, you have to be disciplined in your word. You was convicting me. I was like, dang, all this stuff that I said that I want, like, what steps do it take to get there? Because you ain't doing it.
Yeah, it's like and you be seeing memes like this, but you don't realize it until you get into it. You see like the top of like an iceberg or a mountain, and it be like so beautiful, but you see all the stuff that you got to go through to it, and we see that stuff as just like bad things. Some of these things, healing it's good when you get done with it.
With the process. And I think that our generation, like breaking generational curses now, like the people who have done the work, done the self-reflection, gone to therapy and healed, we're going to raise a better generation of people.
I love that for us.
I love that for us too. Because sometimes it's kind of hard, like when you look at the world now and you see everything that's happening. Because I know for me, and I say this all the time, like, I don't even know if I really want kids, because like this world is so ugly. I wouldn't even want to bring nobody into this world. But then I'm scared, right? But then saying that, but then in the same breath saying like, the work that we've done, who we become, we can't control what God, we don't know what God is going to do. We don't know if he's coming back tomorrow. We don't know what he's going to do with this world. We don't know what's going to happen. So while we're here, if he blesses us with that opportunity to bring another generation in this family, and also even if he doesn't, because you and I both have nephews and nieces, like people looking up to us, and we've done work and done different things and changed the generation. My auntie, rest in peace, who passed away, like everything that she used to like pour into me, when I thought nobody cared, when I thought nobody was listening, nobody cared about my life, I am a reflection of all, like, of her manifestation over my life. The things that she was doing, the things that she was showing me and introducing me to. And even if I never get the chance to be a mom, I know that I got nieces and nephews that look up to me, that's seeing the moves that I make, and that's how you break generational curses. So it might not happen. And also relinquishing control, because something that I've struggled with control is, like, wanting more for my people. Friends, family, all of that. It's like, dang, why can't you just get this? Why can't you be better? And it's like, in hindsight, I could be doing the same thing that was happening to me. Like, feeling, even though it might, in my eyes, look like a level up, from what you was trying to make me be. They was only doing what they was taught to. But as far as like letting go and letting people learn at their own pace, evolve at their own pace, just like a seed, like you plant a seed, but it ain't always your job to grow that seed.
Yeah.
You plant that seed sow, time, and harvest. Like, you know, you plant that seed, you know, over time, somebody else might come along and water it. And it might not happen in the generation that you thought. Like, all those generational curses, I'm sure our parents and things like, I'm not going to be like what happened, you know, like, and they went as far as they could. And here we are. We're going to go as far as we could. And then,
because we don't really know.
Because we don't have control over that. So I love that we both are able to, like, have that understanding. And I think, for me, at least, having that understanding has taken a lot of pressure off myself.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think that for me, like, I've put a lot of expectation on myself of where I should be. Kind of what we was talking about, like, where I should be, what I should be doing. Like, who said that? Well, that's what you said to me earlier. Like, who said that?
Yeah.
And I be saying this sometimes. I probably said this on this podcast, but I needed you here to speak to me because, like I told you, like, I ain't really been my best lately, you know?
No,
and needing to hear that, like, who said you were supposed to have that? Mm-hmm. Who said that that's where you were supposed to be right now? Who said it?
Yeah. You like, we low key, and we be saying it all the time, like, I don't have to live up to anybody's standards. I am enough. But, like, do you take that, like, to heart? Mm-hmm. I'm taking it personal nowadays. Mm-hmm. I'm taking it personal. And I struggled with that when I really started, like, the fitness journey and I started, like, changing my life and everything. Mm-hmm. It was, like, serious to me. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm working out 7 days a week, like, not giving my body rest, you know, because I had a goal and I wanted to reach it. God brought me back in he brought me to life real fast. Mm-hmm. Chill.
You think that sometimes the things that we want bad, like, we make it idols?
Facts.
It's like we chasing after, we
Yeah.
lusting after it. Like, oh, I want it by any means necessary.
No matter what.
If I gotta break my body down and not sleep, if I gotta compromise my morals, if I gotta hurt somebody along the way, whatever I gotta do, if I gotta cheat, steal. A lot of people, like, it gets to us. We don't even realize, and that's control. We thinking like by any means necessary, but that ain't the way God set us up
at all. He really had to speak to me because, you know, like, I'm very routine. Mm-hmm. I wake up at the same time. You know, I'm eating the same stuff. I'm very routine. And I used to be way, way, way more routine than I am now. But now I'm like, I have a very beautiful life to live. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to spend my life living how the world want me to live. That's not fun. That's pressure. It's like I told you, when I'm around somebody and they got bad jokes, and I gotta fake like I'm laughing, that make my head hurt. My head be hurting. I would make that the equivalent in my life now with the work that I've been doing. That would make my head hurt. Trying to be something that I'm not. Mm-hmm. And God has revealed to me all the beauty, the magic, the power that I have. But He's also revealed to me the power that other people have. And our friendship is a reflection of that. Mm-hmm. Like, we push each other, we motivate each other, we here for each other. It used to be times where, like, Bree saying to me, Gay, I need space right now. It used to make me like, girl, what?
What's wrong now?
What's wrong now?
Crazy self, though.
It used to, crazy self. It used to make me feel like that. And I had to go through some stuff. Mm. I had to go through some stuff. And you are one of the most resilient individuals that I know. I had to go through some stuff to understand, like,
why I was like that, or
I don't want to talk. I know I'm supposed to tell you that I don't want to talk because that is the expectation. You know, I would expect for you to do that, but I legit don't got it in me to let you know. So it was like a humbling experience. I was going through some stuff. I feel like sometimes we flip flop. A lot of times we'll be on the same page, but sometimes it'd be like, okay, this is a season, and we are always there for each other's support. But, like, I had to relinquish control of that because it's like, Bree's not having a good day right now. You would want that same thing for you. Life started teaching me that. To me, the golden rule, what I live my life by, you do unto others as you would like for them to do unto you. So I had to relinquish that control, like, of trying literally to control the situation. I'm going to do this so we can talk, or I'm going to do this. You have, from that point, you have to stop doing that. You have to let stuff flow. So if she don't want to talk right now, you respect that.
And I think that, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you for giving me that space and that grace. I think that we have to do that to ourselves too.
Fact.
Because and I'll share, like, for me, like, I got a big birthday coming up, and it's just like sometimes, like, lately, I've been kind of looking around, like, dang, my life is not, and it's not by any means bad, because what's crazy is I remember crying, begging about this. What I have now, what I'm able to do now, I remember crying, like, God, enough. Like, please, like, if you love me, if, you know, like, if I'm really your child, like, please. And it's just like, I sit here and sometimes I'll just be looking around, like, and what I think what's happening now in my life, I'm just expanding. Because I've learned some things, and I've learned, and now I feel like, okay, I'm ready, God. Whenever you're ready to launch me, whenever. Okay, and it's just like, it's not happening in my time. Like, I'm ready to do something else. I'm ready to do X, Y, and Z. And then God's like, you ain't ready to be a mom. Go get a dog. And now I got this dog in here driving me crazy. And I'm like, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I wasn't ready. And so it's just like it's God is intentional with every season, with every relationship, with everything that happens in our life. We don't be seeing it in the moment. We don't. And to be honest, I would like to see, God, what you showing me outside in this season? I want to know. I can't wait to peek around the curtains and look back like, I remember when I was struggling. Why come what?
Like, why do we feel like that?
I don't know. Control. It's control.
Why? And
that's ultimate what it comes down to.
This is so crazy. But I wonder what it looked like. Do we got like...
I want to feel it. For me, I'll be like, God, like, I want to peek around the curtain just to see, like, am I on the right track? Like, is this really gonna, like, is this season of my life really gonna mean something in 4 months?
Yeah.
Did it really have a purpose for it?
He's so intentional, but
it ain't our job to know.
It's not.
Because we're not in control.
Yeah. Which I feel like makes us, it gets us closer to how we have to be with life also. You have to be intentional with life. We made the most of this opportunity. It's Sunday. I would rather, like, just be asleep right now. But we are having this conversation. I'm like, we have to. You have to be intentional with life. And I think that life, in essence, is some form of, like, give and take. So, like, if you are putting good energy, good spirits, and love out there, you going to get it back. But if you trying to control, this me, that's all you getting back. Let go.
And it's exhausting. Control is so, like, trying to control everything. And then, like, you don't even understand the stress that you put on your body and your mind, because, like, when you think about, like, oh, I got control of this thing, I'm gonna do it a certain way, and it's just like your mind constantly running. You ain't never at peace because you ain't never satisfied, so you constantly running after, and it's just like, oh my God, like, let me ask you, where do you feel like you had your come to Jesus moment where you were just like, okay, have it, like, what at what point do you feel like that you feel comfortable to share where it was just like, you know what? You got it, God. I'm tired. You got it. Whatever you say.
I think for me, I was around maybe 25.
Okay.
And stuff just kept happening. It just kept, like, thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. And I'm like, I don't even know who I am anymore. I would look at myself and be like, who are you? I would talk to myself and I'm like, I don't know. I would be praying and I'm like, this ain't me. Like, you get this off of me. Get this off of me. And I started to realize that, like, we all have purpose. And to get to that road of purpose, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be some stuff that happened to you and you like, whoo-wee. But you going to always make it over it. Like, we go through bad stuff all the time and we look back on it and be like, oh, I could do 2 of those. And then you go through some really bad stuff and you like, oh my goodness, God, what are you doing?
You think it's like pruning. Like, it's like your pruning season, right?
Literally.
Like you think about plants. We got us a nice little plant this weekend.
So
but like,
cute.
Like when you think about the pruning season, like, it don't be feeling good. Whether God pruning you from your control, He pruning you from your lack of obedience, He's pruning you from relationships, He's pruning you from jobs.
You're literally not in control.
So when He start taking those things away from you, it's just like, well, you know what? That's what, for me at least, I was like,
I can't
do this no more.
At all.
Whatever you say, do, I guess, like, I'm gonna have to do it. And it's crazy because, like, something that, like, and it's a Bible verse that I won't, like, people to go back and like read, but it's John 15:16. You didn't choose me, I chose you. That's what God said. Like that's God's word, right? Like
you think we be cracking me up because you think you got this.
Yep.
You think you.
But at the end of the end of the day, like when we get done doing what we think and it turned into rubble. I keep thinking of like Jenga, right? And like trying to build something on a foundation. It's just like, oh, I know this block is broken, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it like this, and I know this part don't fit, but I'm gonna wedge this in and turn it to the side. And then like we trying so hard to control our Jenga from not falling. Once one piece is removed, it's just like, girl, let it go, please. I feel like I'd be like, girl.
You know what I think of? And this is like very, very literal. I'm like, my God does amazing things. He be working. You know, when you be like, won't he do it?
Yeah.
Like, you love hearing it. There are a lot of blessings out here. There are a lot of lessons out here. God distributes all of those with intention and perfect timing. I don't want that responsibility. That's a lie.
That is a lie.
That's a lie. It's like,
you don't even know. I
don't want that.
You don't even know. You can think like, okay, this was ready. I thought it was ready sooner. And then you got a little bit down. He's like, girl, if you would have just
wait.
Yeah, like, and then you messing it up. Not that you messing up, because he gonna use everything. But it's just like you stressing yourself out during this season when you can just, like what you said to me earlier, like, I'm not gonna fight. I can't fight it no more.
I can't fight this no more. I had one of those recently.
Yeah, like I can't fight this.
With the transition I've been going through with like moving and everything, I've just been like scared. Like honestly scared. Like Kansas City, my roots there, my people's there. I'm cool in Kansas City. And God kept bringing me around to this saying that I've been telling myself, literally, I remember I was in first grade and I had to speak. I had to do something. I was so scared. I was so scared. Why are you putting me through this, God? Like, I felt, I was so scared. So scared. And I got out there. It's like he almost really spoke to me, honestly, and it's crazy. Being as young as I was, and he's like, do it. I got you. I got you.
Trust me.
Trust me. And ever since then, I say this a lot. You know I do. Like, do it scared. You have to do it scared. And I knew that in order for me to successfully do that as an adult, a loving adult, I want love. I want goodness around me. I know that I cannot be trying to move and shake this. I can't do it. I have to release control. I got to.
And like you was like saying, like control is kind of rooted in fear, but like faith is literally in trust. In trust what you don't see.
Literally, it's the like it is literally the evidence of things hope for. You want this to be,
but you don't see it.
You don't see it.
You hope for it, but the thing like with trust, it's just like knowing whose you are. Knowing exactly whose you are, and you know that no matter what season, God called you. He planted something inside of you, and like the flowers don't be blooming like we might want. Like it don't always look the timing that we want, the fruit that we want. It don't always show up like that. But it's so much better when we let go of our control and we allow God to just be. Let it be. Like let go of control. I think that this is so funny. God is so funny how he does things because it's so funny. Like it's so today has been crazy, and I'm glad that I was able to seal this off. With I'm happy that I was able to seal this conversation with this, Gaelynn. Like I love you. Thank you so much for joining us, and just there's so many things we can talk about, so many different avenues.
It would be like a many hours long.
But trust me, we're gonna have some of those moments. I just want you to know.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some of those moments. Because I definitely gotta have you back on an episode for I don't wanna say if it's gonna be a part 2 from this. We'll just however it flows, it'll flow. But I'm just grateful. Can you leave us with just advice? What would you tell somebody struggling to relinquish control? What would you encourage them to do? No matter what no matter what season they're going through. It could be a move, it could be anything. What would you tell them?
I think that the things we go through, a lot of times the stresses that we go through, they be worldly problems. They really do be worldly problems. Like you ain't got no money, so you gonna rob. They be worldly problems. I would tell somebody, and someone said this to me growing up in church all the time. He told me that the world didn't give you that smile, so don't let it take it away. And I used to think he was talking about my literal smile. He probably was, because it's fire. But as I started getting older, I started to see how life be rocking us back and forth, and it be because we be trying to be in control. He's going to move. He's going to move life in the direction that it is supposed to go. We have to trust him. We have to give him. You have to give him that. You have to. He know what he doing, and we talked about that. You gonna always come out better. Like, you might as well let it go. Like, he got you. So like. The worldly stuff, I would say, like the worldly stuff that we go through,
tangible things we can touch, see, and feel. Okay.
Don't take that so serious. Don't take it so serious. God gives us so much people like you, Bree. He gave me a good friend. So because we not understanding, and all we have to do is just understand each other more. Like he gives us so much. Like
by getting out our comfort zone,
all of that. Like. Don't get caught up in this worldly stuff. Don't do it. Just like he gave us so much.
I love it. I love you. This was perfect. I'm so happy. Thank you for encouraging me and inspiring me because, like I said, I didn't know when another episode was coming. I just knew it was eventually, but I felt like I ain't had nothing to say. But thank you for doing this, and I can't wait to have you back on a podcast. There's so many things that we can talk about. We're gonna talk about so many different avenues.
We had fun this weekend.
Oh my God.
A really good weekend.
I know, and something that I want to talk to you about. It'll be another time, but like just practicing self-care, self-love, and like building a healthy relationship with yourself, because that's something that you definitely inspired me to do. And so I can't wait to have that conversation with you eventually.
I think the world needs to hear that. In due time.
In time,
it's coming.
Like, because this is not the episode. This is not the type of conversation that I thought I was going to have you on for episode. But it had to be you, and it had to be this topic. So thank you so much for listening and joining in. Thank you so much for listening, and joining me on this episode. One more thing. So I've been building like a playlist, and I want this to be a bank that people can like go to for inspiration if they need like a little pick me up. I got a playlist on Spotify and Apple Music. It's called Let It Be the Playlist. And so what I do is sometimes I'll add songs that inspire me, like, or lift me up or encourage me. Now, some of them are gospel, but it can be everything from like Lauryn Hill. Like, I ain't about to be listening to like Future or nothing like that.
Yeah, that ain't
But if you could give me 3 songs. Yeah, this is what I was going to ask you. I know. And listen, let me tell you, your taste in music, it's the best. Like, sometimes I'll go through your playlist and be, like, listening, like, song, like, playlists and things like that. But you can go ahead and look through your phone.
And I promise I can do it because I have a playlist of just, like, my favorite songs. It's, like, no matter how I'm feeling in a day, if I play this playlist, like, we back, baby.
You know what? You inspire me because, like, I be chilling. Like, my vibe is kind of like the same.
It's pretty chill.
It's like always chill. I mean, sometimes it depends on like the mood. Sometimes I listen to a little rah if I'm working out or whatever. But you inspire me, so I'm gonna diversify my playlist a whole lot. But give me 3 songs that you would say that I'm gonna add them to the playlist so people can go back and listen to.
So these are just songs that like, can they be for me? Just songs I listen to and like.
Yeah, just like something that you feel like every time you listen to this song, it always make you feel better.
Okay. All I Do by Stevie Wonder.
Ooh, what's a good one?
No matter what, I'm good. So that's one of them for me.
We're gonna play that when we turn this off.
Okay. I'm gonna feel good when this song come on. Sipping on some scissor.
Girl, I'm weak.
By 3-6 Mafia. I'm feeling good with that.
I was surprised. I'm surprised that that's one that you would say.
Yeah, if I hear that, I'm gonna be in a good mood. And then I think my last one would be
hollering, screaming, kicking. You are hilarious.
Summer Walker Settling. That's my jam.
That make you feel better? Like, if you're having a bad day, do you listen to that song and it make you feel better?
It's not the words to the song. How the song is orchestrated. The guitar. That's what does it for me. The instruments do everything for me. A lot of times, and this is like my guilty pleasure, I'll be listening to instrumentals like a mug. I listen to instrumentals or I YouTube like Summer Walker acoustic. I want to hear like pianos and everything.
Music. Okay.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I want to hear it. And so that's one of them because she got that little thing on Apple Music where you can see them in the treehouse playing that song.
I don't know that.
It's on YouTube. My bad, YouTube. But yeah, those would be my 3. I'm messing with Stevie. I'm messing with 3-6 Mafia, and then Summer Walker. That's my girl.
I love how that range of those songs are. Because when I tell you, I was not expecting you to say Stevie Wonder. Okay, 3 6 Mafia blows me. Like, I'm mind blown. Summer Walker, I love Summer. You know, that's she vibes. Like, I love Summer. She can write.
I think it's not okay that you only let me do 3. Cause like Lupe Fiasco, Sunshine, that's a good one. MC Hammer, Too Legit to Quit. Like
those are the kind of songs that I thought you was gonna say. I didn't think you was gonna say some like 3 6 Mafia. Because I know you, and I always think about you like riding in your car with your beat and all of that. Like when you be you know, like when you listening, like it be like dang, she feeling good. Like, you know. But literally all this weekend, I be letting you be the DJ because I'm like, girl, I'm gonna make it. We gonna be chilling the whole time. So
that's
you need
real. Because we both love music, and I'll be like, whoo, giving the ox to somebody. I don't know what they gonna be playing. Girl, but thanks for entrusting me in it.
I definitely trust you always with the ox. Okay, Gaelynn, thank you so much.
Far left, but
if it's okay, if people want to catch up with you or just peekaboo and see what you're doing, just first know that she is my best friend. I don't care who else is her friend, and I don't like this is my best friend. So I'm sharing.
Nobody ever take your place.
Can't never take my place. Okay, but I'm gonna share my best friend with the world. So if anybody wants to like get to know who you are, her DMs are closed, by the way, but If anybody want to get to know who you are, how could they keep up with you?
Instagram is really all that I use.
Okay.
So my Instagram is hustlin_HUSSLYNN.
Okay.
It's a cool backstory to that. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all. Facebook, but...
Nuh-uh, girl. We ain't giving away the information. Okay. That's enough. Y'all can find her on Instagram if you want to. I'll tag her in the post on Instagram. Yes. But, Gaelynn, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for lighting a fire. And this was a great episode. And I just can't wait to hear the feedback from other people listening to this. I pray that it inspires them and just lets them know that they are not alone. That's really what this is all about. That's the reason why we wanted to record tonight. Just because, like, I felt like other people could relate to this, and it'll definitely be more to come with Let It Be. It'll be more to come with Gaelynn. Like, I'll definitely have her back on the show. But in the meantime, in between time, enjoy this podcast and just, you know, stay tuned for the next. I know I'm going to try to keep it consistent. I'm going to try, but more than anything, like, I just want to, it has to feel right for me. And like I said, like, I think before, for me, just speaking with the podcast, no matter what, it was like I was on a hamster wheel, right? Like, I'm running. I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to do it. And so, like, I did take a break, and it was intentional. And, like, even though, like yes, I'm coming back, and it might not be all sunshines and candy, like, where I am in my life, but I still am dedicated because it's crazy. Like, what the word we got from church today was, like,
direct, like, on spot.
You gotta go. Yeah, you gotta go. Like, whatever gift that God has given you, whatever it is, like, your light, you have to shine the light because this world is dark. As we've seen with things that have been happening in the news lately, the world needs some light, and there's a light inside of you. So whatever it is that you are burdened for, whatever you know God has, like, put in your life, let go of control of how it's supposed to be and let it be. Literally. Let it be. Like, let it flow and do what it is that God has called you to do. Stay close to Him. Stay close to your source. Make sure you are not doing it out of your own selfish ambition, but stay close to the source and go out and live your life and do what God has called you to do. Ultimately, that's what this is all about. But until next time, thank you so much for listening to Let It Be the podcast. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.